Imagine this, moving from your family home of 20, 30, maybe even as much as 40 years, and you're thinking about moving into an HOA community. While HOAs promise convenience and community, reality can be far different. Today, we're going to break down the pros as well as the cons of living in an HOA community so you can make the decision of whether this is going to be your ultimate dream or a nightmare. Let's get into it. Let's start with the good news. There are definitely some benefits to living in a community with an HOA. The first pro that comes to the top of my mind is the low maintenance living. As we enter those empty nesting years and then on to retirement, most of us, at least me, does not want to be slave to a large yard that I've got to take care of or a lot of home maintenance. In an HOA, many of these tasks are handled for you. Landscaping, exterior maintenance, and even snow removal. In most cases, it's taken care of for you. And what this means is more time for hobbies, travel, and well-earned free time. The second pro that jumps out to me is also access to amenities. Many of these HOAs come with fantastic amenities to include things like resort-type pools, pickleball courts, tennis courts, walking paths, as well as clubhouses, oftentimes with fitness facilities, gyms, and things like that. These amenities can help keep you active and social. Both of these are critical during your retirement years. Not to mention, they're often conveniently located just steps outside your front door. The third plus, as I see it, is a sense of community, which can be a really big draw for empty nesters and retirees because you have more of a built-in community. HOA neighborhoods often sponsor community events, clubs, as well as activities. All this makes it easier to meet people and make new friends. This sense of connection can be crucial, especially for those that are downsizing or relocating to an area where they don't know many people. All this sounds great so far, but there's definitely a catch. Those benefits come at a price, and the price isn't always financial. But before we get to the downsides, the chances are, if you're watching this video, you're actually thinking about either moving, downsizing, relocating to an HOA community. If that's you and you have any questions when it comes to real estate, I have a vast network of some of the top agents throughout the country. If you'd like a referral to a top agent in your area, no pressure, no obligation, the easiest way to do so is to click on the referral link in the description below and fill out the information. I'll give you a quick call. I'm not going to bother you. Once again, just a chat to make sure that we can refer you to the best agent possible in your area. I would love the opportunity to help you find the perfect agent for you when it comes to answering your questions about either potentially buying or selling real estate. Now let's get back to the cons of purchasing in an HOA community. The first and perhaps the biggest downside to living in an HOA community is the sheer number of rules and restrictions. Want to plant a garden in your front yard? Permission. Even small things like where do you park your car? Where do you place your trash cans and recycling receptacles can be strictly regulated. To many, this can feel suffocating, especially when you're used to your own freedom to do as you choose with your own home. The second con is HOAs come with fees. Some of them can be reasonable, but some of them can be shockingly high. What's worse is that these fees can rise over time, and you may even be hit with special assessments to cover unexpected expenses like major repairs to community infrastructure. For someone living on a fixed retirement income, these costs can become a burden. The third con is HOA boards, which are made up from community members, can have a lot of power, and sometimes if you don't see eye to eye, this can get ugly quick. Disputes over rule enforcement or fees can lead to stressful conflicts, legal battles, or just a lot of unnecessary frustration. This isn't the type of stress you're going to want to deal with during your retirement. The fourth and final con that I hear a lot is the loss of control of your property. Even though you own your home, the HOA can have a huge impact on what you can and can't do with your home. This may not seem like a big deal at first, but over time, when you have to continually go ask for permission to do small things to your property, this can lead to a real source of frustration and the feeling of a loss of control. For many retirees, this is the deal breaker. So the real question is for you. Should you avoid retiring in an HOA community? Let me give you my thoughts on this. I have only owned properties in an HOA. And overall, while yes, I've had some frustrations along the way with the HOA, I would have to tell you that for me personally, I'm 85% pleased with living in an HOA, and probably 15% there's some frustrations along the way. The reason I prefer living in an HOA community is I like the uniformity of the homes in a community. I think that all helps to keep pride in the community, as well as the values up. Now, with that being said, I'd also tend to be one of those people who follows the rules. I typically am going to do the right thing when it comes to my home in the way that I care for it on the outside, taking care of the yard, things like that. And so for me to have to get permission to paint, my front door color, it's not a big deal. But to others, that may be completely opposite. I will say also, just kind of a funny story, when we moved into the house that I live in now in April of 2021, at that time, like 2 or 3 days after we moved in, we had a scheduled vacation for 2 weeks that had been planned a year in advance. And so we move in. Of course, we had the mail stopped during this 2-week period. So we come back to the house. Once again, we just closed a few days before we left for vacation. I bring back the mail from the post office and start sorting through it. So once I had the opportunity to start going through the mail that I'd picked up that had accumulated over 2 weeks, and one of the things on the top was a letter from the community welcoming me to the community, but also telling me that there were 2 white pickets on my fence that were slightly askew and needed to be taken care of. Of course, I'm not the most handy guy in the world, but even I can get a little hammer and a nail and just straighten it out and kind of tap those in. But as I went down the pile of mail, I see a second letter from the Homeowners Association, and it says, "You have failed to reply to our first notice, and we are telling you now that you need to get this done or you may face future fines." What the heck? So literally within 2 weeks, I'm getting, "Hey, welcome to the community. By the way, you might want to take care of this." And then literally within a week after that, after not hearing from me because I was out of town, I get something that was a little bit nastier. So long story short, I tapped those nails in, made the fence posts vertical there, and no problem since then. So once again, there could be some frustrations along the way, but overall, I appreciate what the HOA does. And so for me, HOAs are good. If you're one of those people, though, where it's kind of like, this is my property, I don't want anybody telling me what I'm going to do. I want to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. I would definitely tell you, you want to stay away from an HOA, especially when you're retiring, because as we've discussed in this video, this is a time for you to be able to relax and enjoy your free time, not a time where you want to get embroiled in bitter disputes with the HOA. Once again, because those board members are your neighbors. So to summarize everything, as far as HOAs go, I don't think there's any rights or wrongs, good or bad. This is all personal to you. Once again, if you're somebody who wants the upkeep of a community, wants to keep the community integrity up, try to keep values up as well, and you're willing to comply with these rules and restrictions, an HOA may be perfect for you. If you're someone, though, that wants to do what you want to do, you kind of beat to the beat of your own drum. I get it. It's probably not for you. So once again, no goods or bads, no rights or wrongs. It's personal. If you'd like to talk to me one-on-one, more specifically about your situation, whether it's about retirement, whether you're thinking downsizing, relocating, buying a second home, or maybe even just simply the do's and don'ts of what to do when getting your home ready for the market, click on the link below and we'll set up a direct time one-on-one when we can meet through a Google Meet session. I would love the opportunity to chat with you and help you out wherever I can in making the right decision. Thanks once again for checking out my latest video. See you next week.